Okay, guys. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're having a good day. One thing before we get into working on a couple things, before we get into finishing our projects. Number one, your joints assignment that many of you guys submitted last class on Tuesday. I did start the class on Tuesday talking about note taking. I think I've been talking about note taking forever, and you guys are probably annoyed at it already, but just the importance of like taking out what you think is important, not worrying about the things we haven't talked about, not worrying about words or terms that like we haven't used or terms that you don't really know. So you shouldn't be using those terms or sentences or phrases in your work or in your assignments if we've never talked about it. And the amount of extra work that some of you guys do, and this isn't a good thing, what I'm talking about is writing every single word to something that you're reading, or copying and pasting a huge paragraph about something I'm asking you about. So what I did with, and this isn't everybody, but out of my 3 classes that day, including yours, many of you went onto Google, typed in joints or the type of joint, copied that answer and put it into the assignment and used it as your own information, which is plagiarism. If you were in college, you could get kicked out of college for that. So not only that, but using terms like when, for example, let me just give you an example. We talked about freely movable joints. There are 6 kinds. One of them is called the pivot joint, which is located in your neck, right in your neck, and it allows this movement here. And I know in the reading that you guys read, it says something about like the access and the atlas and all that stuff. And a lot of you wrote that, but why? All I asked was an example of the pivot joint. All you had to put is neck. Done. Ball and socket joint, shoulders and hips. Done. But yet I got information about bone words that we didn't learn and just extra stuff that if you listened and you took notes down correctly as I was talking before submitting the assignment, then maybe you might have gotten it or asked me questions. And here's another thing, like I kind of got the feeling that maybe there were a number of you that were confused, maybe while I was going over some of the joints, but I would have never known because we're not asking questions or we're nervous, scared, embarrassed. But if you're nervous to ask a question during class, you're not going to get an answer for it. You can message me on Schoology. You can message me directly in this chat. So it's a direct message so nobody else sees it. You can do that. But if I don't know that you have a question and then you go and you complete assignment that way, then I'm not going to take it well, right? And the same thing goes, and this happened last period too, where I had a couple students ask me, what are we doing today? What project? Right? If you weren't in class on Tuesday, the one thing that is your responsibility to do before class today is to watch the recorded Zoom that you missed. Because that's a good thing about virtual right now is literally you can watch a class that you missed. You can watch the instruction. You can watch the information that you weren't here for and get that information. And that's on you. It's not on me. And I'm not trying to come off like I don't care or I'm being rude or mean, but it's kind of like putting a little bit of accountability on you. It can't all be on me. And all the information is there for you. And if you're confused or you don't get something, again, you have to ask me in some way, whether it's here on Zoom, in the chat, Schoology message, whatever it is. But you got to ask because I'm not going to know if you don't. The next thing before I let you guys work on the info on your project is this. I just added one more folder here. It's called PowerPoints right here. So just like in guides, any reading assignment or any like stuff like the skeleton, the bones, all that will be here. Any PowerPoints that I go over in class like I did on Tuesday will be here. So Tuesday's Zoom recording, let's say you missed class and you watched the recording and you're like, oh, where's that at? It's right here. It's embedded right into Schoology, so you don't have to go anywhere. And then you can click this arrow here and it'll show you all of the freely movable joints that we talked about last class. And then if you click this, if this is too small, you can click this here and it'll open up into a Google Slides and it'll be bigger so that way you can see. Are there any questions just based on those couple things I talked about? Just that. Okay, so today we are going to be working on our projects. So just a reminder, by today, you should have your drawn skeleton, all 21 bones labeled on your skeleton. We did that already a while ago. And last class, I asked you by today to have a key, meaning all 6 of your freely movable joints written somewhere on here, and then pick a color for all 6 of them, any color that you want or any colors that you guys have available at home. Now, I didn't get any messages from anybody saying that they don't have access or they don't have any colors or anything at home, because I told you if you message me, we can figure something out. But I didn't get any messages. So that should mean that everyone has what they need to have at home, or at least something, whether it's like a red pen, blue pen, black pen, whatever. 6 colors. So 6 freely movable joints should be written there, and you should have picked a color for all 6. Some of you guys were able to start labeling, putting your lines in for where they are located. And remember, ball and socket, shoulders and hips. If you put the line for the one shoulder, you have to do it for the other. Same thing with your hips. So that's just an example. The only time you can do it one time is your pivot joint, because it's in your neck and there's only one spot there. Now I drew this just to show you, that's just an example of the pivot joint. And I'm showing that to you because I don't want some of you guys to accidentally put the line in the vertebrae bones. These little circles right here, those are all the bones on your neck. So if you put the line down here, then you're saying that this movement happens down there, which is incorrect. But because we talked about this before, this isn't a 3D model, so it's not like perfect, but we're just going to kind of guesstimate with that. If you have any questions at all, for example, you need help with me explaining maybe one of the joints you don't understand, or you want me to reiterate it or explain it again, I have no problem doing that. The only thing that I do have an issue with is I can't go back to Tuesday right now and explain an entire lesson. So it's not like I can go through all of them one more time and explain everything. We just don't have time. So today we are focusing on completing our projects, and then you can message them on Schoology Message. You send me a message with a picture of your project, and then I will grade it for you. And I can also let you know if, like, let's say some of you guys get done. I mean, we're done at 12:49 today. So let's say some of you are almost finished and you send it to me in 5 or 10 minutes. I can check it now while we're in class, and I can send you a message back, like, or tell you and be like, oh, hey, like, oh, you missed this one or you missed this one. That way you can go back and fix it and then resend me the picture and get more points. That's the whole point. So the point of finishing this early is so that you are able to, complete it and to get, some input from me too. Any questions right now? And if you're not comfortable asking me here, you can ask me in a chat.
If we send you a picture of our skeleton so far, you'll tell us if we got them all?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, just do that. Just send it to me and then let me know that you sent it so I can check. All right. All right, that's what you guys are doing. And at the end of class today, you are to send me a picture.